As I looked across that solemn field, I recalled several times scanning the endless expanse and open space around the town. I appreciated the serene landscape, but could only think of how, despite its beauty, it could not fill the emptiness it created inside me.
Well, I actually came about to write the story within my freshman year in college. I was in a literature class, and part of that literature class was that we were to write three pieces of literature during the course. The one in particular, the story, was supposed to be a non-fictional piece. The story is based on the suicide of a friend of mine named Biel. And basically it'd be a way of, I guess, if you want to say, a little bit of internal healing for myself, and on top of that, a way to get on the paper some of the feelings that were involved in the event that happened.
We need to talk to somebody, we need to write it out, we need to think about it in ways that are healthy, and I thought that Blake did a great job with that.
First time I met Joe was on my deployment to Iraq. He was my squad leader. Over the time that we were deployed, I got to know him really well. He became one of my best friends on that deployment.
The military spent a lot of time and resources trying to teach us about suicide prevention in the last few years. We've had PowerPoints, we've had videos and discussion groups. We thought it was important to show you a personal story that impacted the North Dakota National Guard.
I found it would be a really great opportunity to to get the message out, to get the story out about Joe, to honor his life and his service, and also maybe have a chance to reach those who might have friends just like that.
Airmen and soldiers need to recognize, and they need to understand that they are the first line of defense. If you have a buddy and a friend that you think is struggling, then you be there for that person.
He was one of the strongest people that I had known. He actually carried a lot. He carried me and a lot of other guys through our deployment.
There's nobody who's immune from depression. There's nobody who's immune from those kind of struggles that might overwhelm a person. So, yeah, you don't overlook anybody based on their position or their status in life.
After all the events that transpired, seeing some of the signs even in myself, it made me realize that, hey, this could be me, and I got to make sure I take care of myself.
From time to time you hear about Guard members saving people's lives with the first aid training that they've received at the Guard. It's a lot like that with suicide prevention training. Many times a Guard member is the only person in their family or the only person in their circle of influence who has any kind of training in suicide prevention. So they're often the one who will ask a question from a family member or a neighbor and get them the help that they need.
As I thought of my last conversation with Joe, I was interrupted by a familiar sound which I have heard too many times. The note softly rolled across that field upon which I stood, and it pierced my heart with its somber tones. The bugler ended, and I am certain that his last note reached the ears of angels.